by the Nigeria Guild of Editors, and he did that in the bid to rescue the media sector in the country. Now, the president granted the request while speaking at the 21st All Nigeria Editors Conference, ANEC, organized by the Guild of Editors at the banquet hall of the presidential villa in Abuja. And the president of the Nigeria Guild of Editors, Eze Anaba, had in his welcome address raised alarm that the present economic realities in the country had put the media in distress. However, if you must look very critically at the crux of the matter, the president also urged editors of media houses in Nigeria to strengthen national cohesion and also exercise their gatekeeping power with wisdom, fairness, and a strong sense of national duty. I did watch, the video where the president addressed, these Guild of Editors, and according to him, a democracy is, democracy rather, is sustained not only by elections and laws, but by the integrity of public conversations. And this is where the media plays, the central role. And of course, it goes to show that the media is undoubtedly, indispensable. And he also said that media houses and editors must uphold the standards of journalism. We must report, but whilst doing so, we must do that truthfully. If we must criticize or critique government policies, we must do so, with fairness, knowledge. And the aim should not be to tear down the legacy that is being built by the government. Now, Mr. Ankeli, if you look at the highlights or the points of criticisms under this present administration, I mean, one would say that one that has been on the front burner is the removal of fuel subsidy, amongst other things. But if I must add other, points of, criticisms from the public and, of course, the media, one would want to add the floating of the naira, the need for the government of the day to address the economic hardship that Nigerians are actually, faced with at the moment, the spate of insecurity, corruption, amongst other things. But for starters, Mr. Ankeli, because I'm very sure you've been monitoring the progression of events, especially since, President Bola Tinubu assumed office May 29 of 2023. How would you describe the carry-on of media houses or editors across newsrooms, by way of, reporting what is going on in the country, be it from the economy, security, agriculture, health, education, different sectors, basically? Would you say that we've really been very, very professional? Have we been really very objective in our reportage? Since May 29 of 2023, when President Bola Tinubu assumed office as President and Commander-in-Chief?
All right. Thank you so very much, listener. Once again, thanks for having me. As far as I'm concerned, this topic is very, very interesting. Interesting in the sense that it brings two separate things for us to look at. And what are these two separate things? The two separate things are, one, the media, whether they are being professional in their critique of the government or not. Then two, if they are professional, why are they professional? And if they are not, why are they not? Or why are they not professional in criticizing or critiquing the government of the day? Now, if you want to look at these two dimensions, you also look at multiple factors as well. And what are these multiple factors? One, we look at issue of media ownership. We look at regional sentiment or attachment. We look at religious sentiment or attachment. And by the time you bring all these vis-a-vis the current reality of our country, you tend to believe with me that so far so good, the media has not really done much as expected, despite their trying. And why do I say this? I say this looking at the fact that if you look at the media pre-colonial era, the media was in the forefront of ensuring that Nigeria gets independence. And their total target then was independence for Nigeria. and the media were so much out against colonialism. And after independence, the media now went back to its shapes and now became a regional mouthpiece. And since then, up to this very moment, the media has not been too nationalistic enough, has not been too patriotic enough to speak with one voice. Because by the time you look at media from a particular section of the country, the same issue they report it objectively, others report it also with some kind of biased mindset. So I think for me, the media, yes, much as they are doing much, but at least they should be able to put one patriotism and nationalistic mindset first, far and beyond regional interest, religious interest, or whatever interest. So, talking about the media and the reality of the moment, I want to believe that the media can still push for a better country than what we have for now. Why? Because if you look at the subsidy removal, yes, subsidy has been removed, that has come and gone. Now, we have been used to the reality of the subsidy removal. But the question which the media should be asking now is this: the proceeds from this subsidy removal, of what benefit it is to the ordinary Nigerian? How does the ordinary or the common Nigerian feel the impact of this subsidy removal? Is it my great-grandparents that are in the village? Has they gotten good road? No. Have they gotten electricity? No. Have they gotten security? No. So the question the media should be asking is this: now subsidy is being removed, but what impact is the removal having on the lives of the common man? And what is the essence of governance in the first instance? Security of lives and property. Now, are we having this security in Nigeria? As we are talking, if you and I know that the simplest answer, even from a blind person, that is no. Now, if during our father's time, if you want to travel, the only thing they pray for is armed robbers. But now, if you want to travel, armed robber is not even your issue. Your issue is kidnappers, bandits. You understand? So now, that's even traveling, even while in your home, in your own house, they can come pick you up at any time. So now, rather than improvement, we are seeing a worsening situation in the country, as far as security of life is concerned, as far as hard economy is concerned. So Nigerians are going through a hell. And funny enough, going through a hell in the midst of surplus money. Because I call that surplus money because by the time you look at the fact that is being distributed to states monthly, you begin to imagine. Now let's do a simple mathematics. For instance, a state that have only 5 million people, and such a state is giving up to 7-8 billion naira. For crying out loud, what if the government now should take a proper data of the population of the state and just 1 month after paying salary, just 1 month, share this money between the age of 10 and 40. Give out this money to them, empower them just for a month and see what will happen in that state. And even if that is not being done, let's ask ourselves, all this money that is being given, how many states are opening up factories? How many states are opening up what they will engage youth? How many states are doing things that will reduce insecurity in their place? How many states are doing things that will reduce idleness? Don't forget, you see, an idle man is the devil's workshop. So now, in the absence of doing things that will engage this youth, we will also continue to experience this degree of insecurity. Why? Because we are in a country whereby very few are living in paradise.
Okay.
While the vast majority of Nigerians are living in hell.
All right.
So yes, I'm with you.
Okay. I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Ankeli. You did make mention of how journalism was practiced during the colonial era, and rightfully so. The president has also recalled how newspapers at the time fought colonial injustice, and journalists who during military rule endured intimidation and detention to keep hope alive. Apparently the dynamics has actually changed because, the only thing constant in life is change, right? In our present day Nigeria. However, we've now seen a different dimension in terms of, media repression. Because when you say that journalism these days, it hasn't really been saddled with, nationalistic approach and patriotism, it goes to tell you that there is an issue somewhere. Let's see how we can really unravel what the real issue is. All right. In recent times, we've seen slaps. I only discovered that when I attended a workshop organized by the CJID. That's the Center for Journalism, Innovation and Development. And we're made to understand that the slaps is actually strategic lawsuits against, public participation, right? And that has been used to, somewhat gag the media in recent times, in such a way that, just like we're having this conversation now, there is a dimension this interview would actually get to, and it will look as though we are just here to tear down the government or to make it look as though the government is not working. But should the media not shy away from the harsh reality on ground just because we want to help the government build the legacy, that it actually met?
Okay, thank you so very much. And that now calls to objectivity in criticism.
Right.
Or objectivity in reportage. Much as we say government is not doing enough, that does not mean they are not doing anything at all. So, in the process of trying to tell the reality on ground, you should also at the same time say that which they've done as well. You understand? That which they've done, that which they are yet to do, and that which is expected of them to do. You understand? So by the time that is being done, I think they would have done a lot of justice to the government. You understand? So for me, I think the media, like I said earlier, we are gradually drifted away from the focus which we had, which our founding fathers had in the pre-colonial era. And this is nothing other than the issue of ownership and regional mentality, like I said earlier. Now, come to think about it. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of Nigeria today. He's the owner of the Nation newspaper. Now, in the event that the Nation newspaper will not write anything that criticizes the government without balancing it. That is, if at all there is balance to it. You understand?
Yes.
So now, rather than the media now holding government accountable to the people, the media lately has become a mouthpiece of the government before the people. Now all the media does now is telling the people what the government has done, rather than telling the government what the people expected of them. You understand? So I think for me, the media still need to have a introspection, dig deep into the reason why they are being respected before now. You understand? And like I said earlier, to a larger degree, I will not blame those in the setting for today. Why do I say this? I say this because I said earlier, issue of ownership. Now, if you look at the Nigerian media landscape, it's so pathetic that nearly 85% of the privately owned media outlets in Nigeria, they are not paying their staff. I can say this with full authority and without apology. You understand? And even if they are paying them, the payment is nothing compared to the sacrifices they are putting in. Now, in a situation whereby you wake up overnight and because you have some little money and you set up a media house and get people without paying them, believing that their ID card and all that should be their meal ticket. You understand? Then you also you expect a compromised reportage from them. You understand? So I think the entire media landscape in Nigeria needs a total overhaul. You understand? There should be a law to the effect that every media organization, every media investor, every person that owns a media organization in Nigeria should have a particular benchmark that his staff should and must be paid. That is one. Then two, what even wasn't the whole scenario is the advent of this new media. Now, with the advent of this new media, the conventional media, they've been trying, despite being defaced by the advent of this new media. But the new media, as we all know, the new media now is such a scenario whereby someone can sit in his room in the comfort of his room and report nonsense, unverifiable things. So now, and that now also calls for why the professional media should now begin to think of how to distinguish themselves from this bastardization by the new media. So, and what is this new media? You and I know the new media is the social media that has all the Facebook, the Twitter for the X now, formerly Twitter, the Instagram and all that. So, because of the advent of this social media, everybody now claims to be a journalist. You understand?
Right.
Not minding, not knowing the rudiments, you understand? The ethics, you understand? And the working setting of a balanced reportage or a professional journalist. So, and that now calls that the conventional media practitioners have a long way to go in redeeming their image, redeeming their reputation.
All right.
And how would they can only do that when they ensure that there is fairness in their reportage.
I mean, ensuring fairness in our reportage is one that is relative, especially, when you look at the truckload of, media, owners that we have in Nigeria. They are drawn from different quarters, right? And some would tell you that, these private media organizations are profit-driven. They are not some sort of charitable, organization, right? However, do you really think that is the reason why some, media practitioners are compromising, or it is the government of the day? When I say the government of the day, I mean those who actually make up the government, the elites, the politicians, the policy makers. They are the ones trying to induce and kind of like force some sort of narrative. So if you don't, paint the narrative in a way that suits them, then it's a problem.
Well, I think for me, there's a juxtapose between reality and interest in that scenario. Now, no matter the influence from the policy makers of the day, no matter the influence from the government of the day, if there is objectivity, their influence, their attempt to corrupt you will not significantly influence the reality of your reportage. However, the tendency to get compromised become much more easier when even from your own owners you are not being catered for. Now, let me draw a simple example. Each time we keep complaining about brain drain, especially in the medical field and all that. People living in Nigeria, people Japan abroad and all that. Now, let's ask ourselves, why are they doing that? They are doing that because they want to get to a place whereby the economy is relatively favorable for them. They want to get to a place whereby their value is being felt and their input is being rewarded appropriately. So now, in a scenario whereby you are in a place where your value is not being felt, you are not being rewarded appropriately, there is always that tendency for you to be influenced. And which is why most media organizations now, and like I said earlier, rather than holding government accountable to the people, now they become mouthpiece of the government. You understand?
Right.
So the simple reality is this: either we like or not, we in the media industry, we need a serious introspection. If the media should, there are so many things to talk about that will put the government on its toe to do the right thing. Now, let's just look at the issue of insecurity once again. Now, this insecurity. We are talking about a country with over 200 million people. And I'm very sure those that are into this trait called insecurity, they are less than 5 million. Although I don't have a specific data about them.
Right.
But by my simple calculation, they should be less than 5 million. Or even if there are more than 30 million people in this country. Then, and that also brings to the fact that the number of our security personnel is relatively too small, far small compared to the population of this country. So there is a need to boost our security architecture, both the military and the paramilitary. There is a need for massive recruitment. However, the recruitment should be done with some level of caution, so that the so-called repentant Boko Haram or those that are apologists to the extremists shouldn't be recruited into the system. Because by the time they get into the system, they also corrupt the system as well. You understand? So I think for me, there should be pressure on the government from the media every now and then. You understand? And not just on the government. That pressure should also be on we Nigerians ourselves as well. Why? Because every leader comes from among the people.
Right.
So it is the attitude of the people that leaders also, to a larger degree, also shows out there by the time they get leadership position. Why do I say this? If our mindset, we have made it up to promote and reward people that amasses wealth through criminality, of course we should expect anything less than that. Because at the end of the day, now let me give you a practical scenario.
Okay.
For instance, now in the Nigeria of today, look at a retired permanent secretary that retired with integrity, honesty, and glory. He might not amass wealth, but his own very children, his own very relatives will tell him, look at another farm sector that is here, that has estate, you understand? So now, and funny enough, the same farm sector that retired with integrity and honor will not be given chieftaincy title in his village. But that which amasses wealth fraudulently will be given chieftaincy title. You understand? So looking at the way we promote corruption, the way we promote corrupt mentality, the way we raise people that amass wealth through criminal attitude, also now makes it look as if it has become a norm that by the time you get in there, you must also do that same thing to also be promoted in your society. So societal failure as well has a large chunk of the blame of the current Nigerian reality. So societally, just like former late President Muhammadu Buhari said, that change begins with me. So for us to change the narrative in Nigeria, we as Nigerians, we should begin to think of how best we can collectively do what is right. And even if all of us cannot do what is right, by the time, I can guarantee you that by the time 50% of Nigerians stand up for the truth, this country will change in less than a year.
You know,
You understand? It will
yes.
change good in less than a year.
You talk about, standing up for the truth. For media practitioners, in a bid to hold, government to account, objectively and constructively, either by, criticisms or just merely having conversations. There's a way the masses or the consumers of the content you are actually dishing out, there's a way you are perceived. On here, we've had, a fair share of that. I mean, sometimes you have a guest, who is actually holding forth for the government, and you have another guest who's standing neutral. It looks as though, the station is partisan. And in a situation where you don't even have any guest in the studio, just like, I'm discussing with you now, I mean, in a situation whereby I could not secure a guest to appear on the show today, and then one is trying to play the devil's advocate, you are just tagged someone who is not speaking truth to power. How diplomatic should the media be in a bid to hold government to account? And yes, in terms of ensuring objectivity as well, what level of diplomacy do you think should be employed?
Thank you so very much. Like I said, how diplomatic the media should be is ensuring that which the government has done, showcase that. That which they are here to do, showcase that. And that which is expected of them to do, showcase the three. You understand? By that is that. And that which is expected of them to do, showcase the three. You understand? By that, you've shown a large degree of diplomacy and objectivity. Now, let me draw you a simple example. Recently, there was a heated argument online about Rufai Hosseini, Arise Youth, and the Minister for Work.
Right.
Now, When Levi appeared in one of their shows, and he was asking about the cost per kilometer of that goes through due process. So you are very familiar with every inch of that contract. You should be able to tell Nigerians. And even if you don't have the fact, the kilometer cost of that contract at your disposal, you can as well technically and respectfully say, okay, I will make that available. At the moment, I don't have it, you understand, broken down. You understand? That would have been a more diplomatic and respectful way of addressing the media. But I'm very sure his response then was harsh in the sense that they believe the media don't have that courage to challenge them. Because the media have been asking questions as if they are subservient, as if they are servants to them. So the media should ask challenging questions. Stop up for Rufai Hussein once again. You understand? As a matter of fact, the media, people address you by the way you dress. So it's being said. So the media should be able to take authority over whosoever that is in position of authority. Why? Because that position is trusted. You won't be there for life. People voted for the one that appointed you. And anytime, any day, just a person can be out of that place. Either by some voting or by death or by any other incident or even by dropping you as well. So much as you are occupying any leadership position, bear it at the back of your mind that you must be accountable to those that you are leading. And by encouraging the media come out en masse to ensure that this mentality is reinstated in the minds of all leaders. All leaders will be at all points in time ready to tell Nigerians their level of stewardship.
Do you think that is possible? I mean, very
possible.
Okay.
Yes, very, very possible. Now, how is it possible? It's possible in the sense that, okay, for every state, for every media organization, for most respectable media organizations, they have correspondents in respective states.
Right.
So now, if by the time correspondents are being engaged to begin to do an in-depth analysis, sector by sector in-depth analysis, you understand, of respective political office holder. By the time you do for, maybe say, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Agriculture will now begin to brace up. By the time you do for Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Water Resources will begin to brace up. By the time you do for Ministry of Water Resources, other ministries will begin to brace up. So I want to charge the media that they should constructively engage their people to also do an in-depth analysis, investigative reportage of what the government is expected to do, what they are doing, and what they are yet to do.
Okay.
So by the time you put all this together, I think we'll have a better country.
All right.
Going forward.
All right, Mr. Ankali, Emmanuel has been my guest. We're due for a commercial break, so we'll just go pay these bills. Mr. Ankali, we'll link up with you in a short bit so we can wrap up the conversation, if it's fine.
All right, thank you so very much.
All right. Okay, this is Eagle's Outlook, and we are looking at, the submission or admonition, given by the president to media houses to ensure, truthful, and objective, and also, by extension, constructive criticisms, when it comes to government policies, right? And we want to look at what you think. What is your perception when you talk about the media landscape in Nigeria? Would you say that media houses have been indeed objective? Would you say that we've been constructive, we've been fair, we've been truthful in our reportage and the kind of conversations that we have on radio, television, and even, print media? Well, let's get your thought to all of this. You can leave a message or a voice note on the WhatsApp portal already on 090-9705-44 and 50. That is the WhatsApp number. And when we return, I'll hand down the phone lines for you to call to be part of the conversation. Do join us again.
Motor where you dey drive, you need confirm protection, no, for your engine, no. Get make a mobile, make it mobile, oh, make it mobile, yeah. Anywhere you dey, your motor deserve to be number one, yo. Make it
best.
Make it mobile.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Join media collation and awareness to hold trafficking, MICAS, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAS and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Eagles FM Ember Month promo. Eagles FM ta zo muku da labari mai daɗi a wannan wata na Ember. Eagles FM na baku wata dama ƙara samun nasara na Eagles FM Ember promo. Ka biya na tallace-tallace 10 za mu baka ƙarin 3 kyauta domin ka tallata kasuwancinka. Hakika 10 ka biya 3 kyauta. A Eagles FM muna kula da nasararka a wannan shekara. Shi yasa muka kawo muku wannan dama don ƙara haske kuma da ka ƙara riba a wannan watanni na Ember. Kada ka jira, ka kama wannan dama ka bunkasa kasuwancinka. Kuma ka sa duniya ta ji sunanka ko sunan kasuwancinka da Eagles FM Ember Months promo. Ana iya samun mu a 0811 338 0604 wato 0811 338 0604. Mu yi nasara tare a wannan shiri. Wannan tayin yana nan daga rana ta 1 a watan Satumba zuwa ga rana na 31 a watan Disamba na 2025. Eagles 102.3 FM, tashar rediyo da zaka iya dogaro da ita.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
I suppose it was inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Eagles Outlook live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. And on the program today, we are looking at a very, very topical issue that concerns media practitioners and, of course, what the public actually makes of the media. What is your perception of, the media landscape in Nigeria? Do you think that, media houses in Nigeria and, of course, the practitioners have been very professional over the years? Do you think there are areas that we actually need to improve on? Please do what to let us know on 09087668888 or 09073530044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 09097054450. Well, I actually have been speaking with Ankeli Emmanuel. He is the Northwest Regional Editor, National Accord Newspaper, and also Global Patriot News, USA. He is equally an independent writer and also the Managing Editor of InfoTrust Online, a newspaper. Together, we've been discussing and also dissecting, the issues within the media, space in Nigeria. Now, the president's admonition to media houses, to ensure fairness and objectivity, in their reportage is actually against the backdrop of the 21st All Nigerian Editors Conference. All right. And the theme, is enhancing democratic governance and the role of editors. Indeed, editors have got, a huge role to play, right? But in a situation whereby the news is reported and it doesn't seem to suit the narrative of, a group of people, a number of people, in the public, then it becomes an issue. So we're trying to see how we can harmonize our thoughts. Right. Hello, good morning, Mr. Emmanuel Ankeli. Thank you so much for staying with us.
All right, morning. Thank you.
All right. Now, the next question I would like to ask you, Mr. Ankeli, in Nigeria, we have very, limited number of news outlets or organizations who are very, very heavy on investigative journalism. Why is it like that? We know that investigative journalism is not cheap, but it appears that it's not really something that a number of media houses in Nigeria want to delve into? Or is it a case of us not having, an enabling environment for investigative journalism to thrive?
All right, thank you so very much. I think you've just mentioned one, the environment, then two, cost implication as well, and three, the attitude of newsmakers, then four, the risks involved, and five, the blackmail. Now, let me talk about this one after the other.
Right.
And let me start with blackmail. For instance, by the time I want to do an investigative reportage on a particular something, two things are bound to happen on the side of blackmail. One, you, the journalists, have big interest in that, you'll be blackmailed as in targeting the particular person, the ministry, or the organization, or the agency. So that blackmail now tends to weaken your morale in pushing for such report. Now, and aside the blackmail, that blackmail now also put you at risk. Why? Because you'll be considered as an enemy to that organization, as an enemy to that particular agency. And like it or not, it's practically impossible for you to do a realistic investigation about an organization, about an individual, without carrying out certain questions that concern them for them to respond. And in the process of responding, they will get to know who and who is doing what at a time or not. So with that now, they get to know either the individual or the organization. And that blackmail now leads to the risk. Now, the attitude of these newsmakers, the organization or whatever that you are investigating now become very hostile. Why? Because they feel that their hands are not clean, therefore you are coming to expose the odd in whatever they are doing. Right. So their attitude now become hostile. And not just being hostile, but also finding a way of demoralizing you. And this attitude, it could be either be hostile or it could be the one that will lure you into falling for their trap. You understand? So some might show you a hostile attitude, and some might want to use some degree of gratification to ensure that your report or your investigation is being watered down.
Right.
Then, aside that, the cost implication of doing such in-depth investigation is huge. That most of these private media organizations that are profit-driven might not want to spend money on their reporters to do certain in-depth investigation. And that now brings a whole lot of challenge to the issue of investigative reportage. Now, let me tell you some simple mathematics that you'll be surprised. The foreign media wouldn't mind to spend up to 4-5 million naira on a single report if they know that this report is going to change a whole lot of things. But in the Nigerian setting, you find it difficult for a single media outfit in Nigeria to spend money as much as 4-5 million on a single report. Although there are exceptions, like I said earlier, there are exceptions, and these exceptions are very, very few. And talking about exception, payment times comes to everybody's mind. Payment times over there, they've distinguished themselves to be giant in investigative reportage. You understand?
Right.
As far as the Nigerian media setting is concerned, that's not to say that other media houses are not doing that. They are doing that. You understand? They are doing that. But then there is still need for improvement on what we are doing. Then two, the environment. The environment. Sometimes for you to do realistic investigation, you need traveling from one point to the other. And because of the insecurity, the environment might not be very secure for you to do such a movement. So, by and large, the truth of the matter is this: we are in a country whereby so many things are going wrong, and we know that these things are going wrong, and we say little about it, or the little that we say we don't do follow up about it. You understand?
All right. Okay. I mean,
yeah,
it's a lot really to talk about, with so much to take in. Now, in 1 minute, Mr. Ankele, because time is not our friend, the president of the Nigeria Guild of Editors, Eze Anaba, in his welcome address, raised alarm that the present economic realities in the country had put the media in distress. What exactly do you think should top, the priority list of the president? Aside, appearing in person, I mean, because it's really commendable that he actually, was present at the opening, ceremony of the 21st All Nigerian Editors Conference. What exactly do you think he should do at this point in time to ensure, a level playing field for media houses, in a bid to ensure objectivity, constructive, criticisms, and of course, reportage? In 1 minute, if you can, please.
All right, thank you so very much. I think for me, one, it should be more of economic reform. By the time the economy is reformed, I think that will give the media that leverage, whereby the media owners can now begin to take good care of their staff, and that will now help us better reportage. Then, aside that, there should be also a law, you understand, that is strong enough for each media organization to ensure that they take care of their staff. So by the time that is being done, and there should be also a law mandating all public office holders to give account of their stewardship. You understand? Either yearly, quarterly, depending on how the law is being situated.
All right.
And aside that again, Nigeria as a whole, we need to also all wake up and change our attitude towards the country.
Okay.
One, this is the only country we have.
Right.
To all of us, collectively, we must strive to make it work and work for all of us.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that submission. Northwest Regional Editor, National Accord Newspaper, and Global Patriot News, USA. Ankele Emmanuel has been my guest. Thank you so much for spending part of your time with us today.
Thanks for having me once again.
All right. And it's a wrap on the show this morning. Thank you to the listener on the other side of the radio for listening. And I'm very sure that this conversation, has been able, or hopefully would change your perception, regarding the media landscape in Nigeria and how, we report and also discuss issues, especially on here at Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja, knowing fully well that we're trying to ensure fairness, objectivity, and, constructive criticisms. All right. My name is Omoefe Peace Osemere, and I would like to state that the views expressed by the guest this morning on the show were not influenced by the station. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come. Good morning.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Hello, Nigeria. Hello, Africa. Do you want to